Stepney decided to find a shed to rest in for the night. He was too tired to go back to Tidmouth, so he decided to stay the night at Wellsworth. When he got there, Edward was there, and he was already sleeping, but Stepney didn't want to wake him up, so he just sat there in silence. He couldn't go to sleep, as he had a lot on his mind. The next morning, Stepney was still awake. Edward woke up.
Good morning, Stepney. Are you alright? You look kinda pale.
Asked Edward.
Stepney explained everything that had happened from last night. From delivering the train to the old branch line, to getting lost, the diesels, and the fat controller not believing in the diesels even being there in the first place.
That's strange. Usually I'm able to think of something, but if not even the fat controller can help, then I don't know what to do.
Edward replied.
Just then, Oliver pulled up with a goods train from Arlesburg full of ballast. It needed replacing on Edward's branch line, and he was called to deliver the first train up there.
Hello, Oliver. What brings you up here? I haven't normally seen you at Wellsworth.
Asked Edward.
Oh, I'm doing just fine, Edward, Oliver said. Oliver noticed Stepney looked kind of pale. Is everything alright with Stepney? He asked. Stepney explained what he told Edward to Oliver. A sudden chill went down Oliver's funnel. Were these two diesels painted dark green and yellow? He asked. Yes, replied Stepney. How'd you know? Because I've encountered them before. On my escape from Scrap, me, Isabel, and Toad all encountered them. When we were in the scrapyards at Barrow and Furness, they were the two diesels that caught us and placed us in the sheds. We were lucky enough to be found by Douglas and taken back here, but I'll never forget what those two diesels did to me.
Finished Oliver. Wow, said Stepney. It seems like you've had quite a history with them too. Yes, said Oliver, and I want to find a way to be rid of them once and for all. They are spirits, as I found out, so it's going to be tricky, but we gotta think of something.
I was never a scrap escapee, so I don't know much about these grim messengers of doom.
Said Edward. Said Stepney. I might have an idea. I'm listening, said Oliver. That night, Stepney, Oliver, Toad, and Edward took the back entrance to get into the smelters and help fill them. Alright now, does everyone remember the plan?
Are you sure about this, Stepney?
Asked Edward.
Trust me, Edward, said Stepney. You're one of the wisest engines I know, and if this doesn't work, then I don't know what will. I second that, agreed Oliver, and Toad's on watch to see if the grim messengers of doom are back there. Any sign of them yet, Toad? Just then, Toad's face turned pale. Mr. Oliver, we've got company, said Toad. There, standing right behind Oliver and Stepney, were two menacing and devilish diesels. They were none other than the grim messengers of doom. They rolled up to Stepney and Oliver. Said one of the diesels. Well, back 2 nights in a row, Stepney. And this time you've got company, I see. This time, we'll make sure you don't escape. The diesels buffered up to Stepney, Oliver, and Toad. Now, Edward, cried Stepney.
Stop right there, you two!
Roared Edward. Wait, you didn't escape, Scrap. You can see us too? Asked one of the diesels.
Of course I can see you two. Did you think you were visible to only Stepney, Oliver, and Toad, since they were scrap escapees?
Asked Edward. Maybe, said one of the diesels, but we can still do our dark work on you if you don't keep your mouth shut, growled the diesel.
Don't you dare think you can scare me. I'm not frightened of either of you,
said Edward firmly.
Do you really consider how other engines feel before their time's end? Tell me this, how would you feel if someone was mocking you during your ends?
Pah, the diesels growled. Never gonna happen. Besides, we're spirits.
Deny it all you want, but I know what I'm talking about. Now leave the railway. Neither of you have a place in it,
Edward said firmly. The diesels uncoupled themselves from Stepney, Oliver, and Toad, and disappeared into the night. Do you think they're truly gone now? Asked Oliver.
Maybe so, but at least they're gone now,
said Edward.
And that's the way it stayed.
3 engines and one of their boyfriends returned home in triumph. 2 of them feeling proud that they'd never have to face the death diesels again. Soon it was time for Stepney to go home. Edward and Oliver were sad to see him leave, but proud that they accomplished something in the end, and that they'd no longer have to face the grim messengers of doom.